That was like good. I was like on the edge of my seat, and then you said, and then in her book was,
well,
you're missing a rune. And I'm like, God damn.
I didn't say it like that.
You're missing a rune, bud. Oh.
Well, I don't think she would say it like that either. But I mean, maybe. Welcome to Adapnation, where we break down game-to-screen adaptations and ask whether they actually got it right.
What's shaking, Adapnation? It's time, once again, to get serious.
Why?
Not that serious.
Not that serious.
But it's time to do League of Legends Season 2.
Oh my God.
Episode 4 to 6. We've got Paint the Town Blue. Blisters and Bedrock.
Ew. Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of gross.
It's gross.
The message hidden within the pattern. What could that be? Guess we'll find out. Well, she's not the message hidden in the pattern.
She's hidden in the pattern.
She is hidden in the pattern.
She is.
Yeah. Let's get into it, shall we?
Okay.
What do you want to rip on first here? What do you want to?
Well, I don't really want to rip on anything, but
I should have taken medication today, just so we're clear. I'm a little wound up.
Is it because of that opening in episode 4?
I loved that opening.
Oh my God, that was so cool. Yeah.
And it really led right into the tone of the rest of the episode. The rest of I think the theme of these 3 episodes really.
Yeah.
Where Jinx is like the new it girl.
Yeah. She's kind of the new Vander at this point.
Yeah. And
I was going to say Silco, but she's kind of more Vander now.
She really is.
Yeah.
Even all the murder.
Okay. That's in her past.
Didn't hinder her.
No.
And Vander was there. He did some murdering.
He did.
He did some things that he wasn't proud of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's Undercity, so you kind of have to. You hate that, eh? You hate it.
I love Sylvanas as much as the next person, but we're not going to see her in this.
Could you imagine?
No.
That'd be cool.
Well, you could get some Sylvanas-esque.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I feel like I'm missing somebody in my brain right now that I want to say.
Yeah.
That has some
Ashe?
Sylvanas vibes. No, Ashe is just that archer, so maybe Sylvanas before she was turned.
Okay, maybe. Yeah.
But now she's more of a Morgana without the wings.
Okay, maybe.
But anyway, I digress.
Yep. Well, that's probably good.
Do you ever watch our episodes with the subtitles and see what kind of crazy stuff it puts in there?
Okay, listen, I don't really do that great with the captions.
Do you do them?
Yeah. Yeah, I do those.
Sometimes the words aren't even the same.
Sometimes I crap out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I didn't know you did it. So
yeah. Everything.
You do a lot. And I appreciate you.
Oh,
I don't know.
nice.
I don't think I tell you that enough.
Ever? No, there's been a couple times.
Yeah. There's been a few.
And it's like such a good feeling. I literally tell my wife.
Yeah.
He called me just to appreciate me. I feel so good.
I do.
I'm going to go do more.
Yeah. Sometimes I look at your podcast and your work and I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
That was a good episode.
Yeah.
And it's because of you.
Thank you.
But also because of me. But the technical work is because of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the talent. I'm just here so you're not talking to a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. So that opening scene.
Yeah.
Do you think the blue was a Jaina reference, or do you think it was a Jinx reference?
It's got to be a full Jinx reference.
You think so? You think it had nothing to do with Jaina, even though the mural at the very end of it, with Jinx in the center, had the wind in blue coming out.
Yeah,
I think it's both.
Are they then kind of pushing some narrative, just subtext wise, that Jaina was the savior of Zaun, right? Is Jinx the new savior of Zaun then? Is that what they're kind of playing with?
I think her followers want her to be.
I think by the end of these 3 episodes, we have a solid, new savior of Zaun.
Probably.
Like, she's got all the pieces there. Oh, maybe not by the very end.
No? Why?
Well, we can talk about that at the end.
Did you watch ahead?
No. I'm talking about the end of that episode.
Okay. It's episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get there.
But yeah, there's a good. I like that reference. I like it.
It was
I
good.
think it's a good reference.
It was good. Yeah. The opening scenes in these episodes, especially like the beginning acts.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Like it would have taken a year just for that.
They've been such cool little art pieces and splashes and like really vibey because again, we talked about the music being that creamy icing.
Yeah.
And they just keep pouring it on. And I love it. I love it.
And did you also notice, I don't know if you watch the intros at all or if you skip them.
Yeah.
This one, I don't know if it was in the last one or not, but this one, every person in there has been stripped away of what they used to have. So like Jinx, her tattoos are gone. Vi, it shows getting rid of her Vi.
Yeah.
Right? And so forth and so forth. That's kind of interesting because like every character is changed at this point.
So much.
They've evolved into something else, right? And so even the intro, man, these people just like thought of everything, eh?
They really do. And then that's, again, we're going to keep saying it because, you know, I was worried about season 2 because we've seen some things where it's gone poorly in a season 2, like where season 1 was a banger and then they just kind of declined or they did something wrong. And I'm not talking about something as good as like The Last of Us, but I'm talking about some other shows that we've done.
Okay.
And I was worried, right? Yeah. Like, and maybe that's what kept me from watching it for so long I was like, season 1 Arcane is so good.
Yeah.
And it was so well put together. Even with the flaws in the lore.
Yeah.
That I was worried that season 2 just wouldn't hold a candle.
Yeah.
And it just keeps holding a candle for me.
It
a big
really
candle.
Does.
A bonfire. Yeah. I'm not going to say a forest fire because we live in Canada.
Not do that. Yeah.
That's sad.
That's horrible. Yeah.
Thoughts and prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of talk just about the opening.
Okay, that opening was huge, though. The opening was huge. It was one of the best parts, I think, of Act 2. You and that cup.
Let's get into Caitlyn a bit in this because you could see the change beginning at the end of the first arc.
Yes, you can.
And she's just in it. She's in it.
She's kind of the new old Jinx. Or at least on her way to becoming, because she is like going fucking crazy. But not fully. She's not fully there yet. She still cares for her people.
Yeah.
And is kind of turning against Ambessa, it seems.
Yeah, she seems to be kind of like trying to hold Ambessa at bay or her ambitions at bay in some portions.
Yeah.
And it really comes through when she finally finds Vi again. However, let's just have a quick peek at when we see Caitlyn again. And Maddie, the cadet, new recruit, Maddie, is just Caitlyn's new jam.
That was fast.
Right?
That was fast.
Like, I don't feel like a lot happened between the first arc and the second arc because they've been pretty good at just like giving us.
Yeah, it's been pretty like consistent right into the next one. So.
Fruit fly.
It's your fruity
it landed
drink.
Right on my mustache.
Did it?
That was weird. Yeah, like on a single hair. Yeah. Just grabbed on there.
That's impressive.
That's weird. Yeah, Caitlyn and Maddie are now a thing.
Yeah, that's weird.
Caddy?
Ew, no, we're not. No, because they're not going to stay together.
You don't know.
Obviously.
Maybe they're a throuple now. You don't know what's going to happen.
I cannot see Vi in a throuple.
I could potentially see she was a fan of Maddie initially. Maddie is the one that came up to Vi and was a big fan.
She's all about Caitlyn.
She was a pretty big fan of Vi.
She was a pretty big fan of Vi. Yeah, she was. Do you think Maddie has been secretly sent by Ambessa? There's talk online about that.
I don't know because we were talking a bit about Loris too. while we were sitting outside.
Yep.
And you said that when he was watching Vi fight, he was wearing like a Ambessa uniform type clothing.
Yeah.
So here's where it can get really complex, because they do really interesting things in this show to throw you off, right?
Oh,
they do cool stuff in the show to throw you off.
Yeah.
So we've got Maddie that's literally in bed with Caitlin.
Fucking Caitlin. God damn it. Sorry. Go ahead.
And we've got Loris, who's watching Vi, both of which may be helping Ambessa, or were they sent to Ambessa through Caitlin to keep an eye on Ambessa and what her motives are, and these are their roles from Ambessa, but Caitlin also needed the comfort of Maddie.
I can see that more than Ambessa sending them, because Ambessa is not really like a behind the scenes schemer. She's a in your face punch you right in the mouth.
That's unfair to say.
It's not unfair to say.
She's
a brute.
She's a brute. Did we just totally forget about the Red Wedding of Arcane?
The Red Wedding?
Yeah, sorry.
Who got married?
If you didn't watch Game of Thrones, you wouldn't get the reference, but the attack on the memorial. The attack on the memorial?
Yeah.
Who orchestrated that? Who was pulling strings behind the scenes?
Ambessa.
That's right. So is she a schemer? Yes, she can be.
Yeah, but not in like a long play
spies
type. Like, she doesn't send spies. She just ambushes. You know what I mean?
No, she manipulated.
She ambushes.
She manipulated.
She's a manipulator. Yeah.
She manipulated Salo.
I can't see it. Yeah, well, that was easy.
Well,
Isha could have, and she can't even talk.
Well, Isha's adorable.
She's a cute little thing.
She's adorable.
She was before Warwick, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So there's a lot to say about Caitlin there too. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know.
This is. You remember when M. Night Shyamalan came out?
Shyamalan?
Yeah. And all of his movies had like these crazy twists that you just didn't see coming until you got used to it. And then you're like, oh, this is an M. Night Shyamalan movie. I'm going to wait for the twist and try and figure it out before it gets there.
Yeah.
That's this whole show. You just never know. It's
very twisty.
And you never know anybody's motive. Again, even look at Silco. Silco's motives were up and down because
I had like
of the
16 theories about his motives. And at the very end, I was still wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's good though.
So good.
It's so good.
So it makes it a good show. Again, great show.
Good Maddie. I think I
well, good for Maddie though.
Good for Maddie, I guess, but I don't like her mostly because I really
you like Vi. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's like one of the coolest characters.
We never even talked about making Vi a character because Chase and I, my son, were talking about adapting some characters because we watched together for some Dungeons and Dragons, and he wants to be Warwick, which is
rightfully
solid.
So. Yeah.
And we looked at Jinx.
Yeah.
Doing like a Jinx character, like an artificer, gunslinger.
Okay.
Which would fit.
Yeah.
You could. But anyway.
You're not going to do a Vi?
We didn't talk about doing a Vi, but she would just be like a pugilist.
Yeah.
Right? Like a brawler.
Yeah. Like barbarian chick.
You could do probably some, she's not a barbarian though. No. There's a lot more rage, I think, in a barbarian class.
She's got some rage. Come episode 5.
It is directed, right? Like she's not, Warwick has barbarian rage.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like it's just unhinged and it's all over the place. Whereas Vi is like controlled rage. Like the rage is there, but she's putting it towards something.
God, this is deep.
I know.
It's such a deep animated show. I know. That's weird. That's weird.
We could be talking about a news story.
We could be. Yeah. Of course, then you say the word scuttlebutt. And it's not. It's not a news story anymore.
Yeah, I loved Scuttlebutt and Stinkmaw.
Yeah.
Both.
They're kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
are
references.
They
Yeah. References to
they are references.
Holy my goodness. There's a little creature. I want to say a non-hostile creature that roams in League of Legends that's the hell are they called? I probably have it here. A scuttle crab.
A scuttle crab?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they just kind of free roam. They're just
Can you kill them?
I probably.
Yeah. Do you get like a power up or something? No.
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I want to say no. But you brought up some Cogmaw reference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Like Stinkmaw looks kind of similar to Cogmaw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, they looked cool.
And it was awesome. And when we were sitting there and we were watching like the big giant bugs, I turned to my son and I was like, what are the chances that these are actually like just tiny bugs? And then it finally cut to that. Yeah. I was like, oh, they are.
They are.
And then we were laughing about that. It was good.
Yeah. And then Isha won.
Yes.
So
and got to dye her hair.
That's pretty cute.
Yeah.
And then, Jinx talking about how she didn't get to do that with her sister. And that was kind of heartbreaking.
And that Isha reminds her of her sister.
Yeah.
The emotional aspects of some of this episode.
Just the emotional aspects of Jinx. Just like her transitions through all of these episodes.
I can't even say it's just Jinx.
Oh my God.
Her transitions are probably the most noticeable.
Yeah.
And like in your face.
Yeah.
Because they're so
in your face.
Different.
Yeah.
Right? Like from Powder to Jinx to whatever this is now. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like she's Pinks.
She's like, in the midline. That's
she's not Chowder because that's
no.
weird.
I hope not.
No.
Let's go with Pinks. Yeah, Pinks
she's something new now. Yeah.
And she did say something about Jinx being dead too, which I thought was an interesting little nod.
Of course, now we'll see at the end of episode 6.
Oh my God. See, that's what I was talking about when I said that we can talk about that later.
It might be like Jinx Plus.
Yeah, it could be bad. It could be bad.
It could be bad, or she could just revert right back to Powder. Just bam, I'm broken.
Maybe. Yeah.
Could be. Could go either way.
And
or a whole different way.
I said that in another episode that, it's even just minute things that shift the entire story. And you never know which way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Just like real life.
Like Vander's note to Silco.
Yeah.
Could have changed fucking everything. Everything. This could have been a whole different story.
My goodness.
Might have been a good one.
Could have been.
But this one's pretty good.
This story's great.
I love this story.
And like you could do like I would watch this if it was like different, like how Marvel came out with like the what ifs.
Yep.
You could take almost anything in this, like any of those transitional pieces, and saying what if and this one little thing would have changed the whole story.
All of it would have changed. Yeah. You can make like 10 what ifs from every episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would watch that.
I would
absolutely watch that.
Even if they were shorts. If you give me like little 5-10 minute.
Yeah.
This is what would have happened if that little thing would have changed.
Yep.
Oh, I would watch the shit out of that.
That would have been pretty good. We should email them. Hey, what do you think?
Yeah. Because they'll listen. Our show's pretty big.
Is it?
No, not yet. But it will be. You watch. I had a dream. That we blew up. It's going to happen. One of these days.
I think we both had that dream at this point.
I think you told me about that and I was thinking about it too.
Yeah.
That's 2.
Yeah, that's 2 dreams. We're getting there.
It's all up to you guys. Make our dreams come true so we can continue bringing you primo quality podcasts like this.
We'll up our game so that we're bringing primo quality podcasts kind of like this.
We won't up our game.
No, we'll hire someone.
But we'll up our stuff.
What's wrong with the studio?
Nothing. It'll just be upped.
I put my blood, sweat, and tears, legit blood, sweat, and tears behind the paint on these walls. Anyway.
When we were talking about Loris and seeing Vi fight. So that's where Vi ended up.
Yeah.
Is just drinking and punching. As one does sometimes.
Yeah.
When you hit
episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you hit a wall.
That was brutal. That was brutal. She's mad.
She's a mess.
Yeah. Do you think she's mad because of Caitlyn?
She's spiraling about everything. No, I don't think it's just Caitlyn even.
No, you don't think so?
I think the conflicted feelings around her sister are a big piece of it. About Caitlyn, about, the fact that she knows she took on that role of enforcer at one point and probably didn't feel good about that the whole time. Like,
I wouldn't think so.
Like it's
I
see, and then this is the complexity to every single one of these characters. There's so many little things under there. Right? It's like when Hermione is talking to Ron and Harry about what Cho Chang was feeling. And I bring up Cho Chang not just to talk about Harry Potter, which I enjoy talking about, but also to say that Caitlyn is voiced by the same person as Cho Chang,
Very cool.
which is fun.
Very cool.
Katie Leung.
So then you can squeeze that into this and talk about Harry Potter.
I like that.
Okay.
Where she was talking about Cho Chang's feelings and how like complex and layered they were.
Okay.
When she kissed Harry because she was feeling guilt around the fact that she was kissing Harry and just lost her like ex-boyfriend because he died and all of these other like layers to her emotions.
Okay.
That's what every character in this is like, and that's what Vi's got right now.
She's Cho Chang.
She's Cho Changing.
Okay.
Layers of emotions. Except instead of tears, Vi is punching the shit out of stuff.
Yeah. Different kind of therapy.
Little bit.
Yeah.
Well, and getting punched, which probably just feels as good.
Although she can take a hit.
Yeah.
Man, she can take a hit. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I feel like she can take more of a hit than Warwick could take.
With or without that healing factor, because Vi punched his face in half at one point. Did you see that?
You know who else she punched? Tattoo Guy. Tattoo Guy was back.
Oh yeah,
that's who she was fighting, and once again,
just
takes his jaw right off.
Yeah.
Just twice that she knocked off his jaw in season 1, and then knocked off his replacement jaw in season 2.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
So,
I saw him and I was like, oh no, your jaw.
Oh no, not again.
Again. Yeah. Oh shit. Anyway, sorry, that just kind of
poor guy
tickled my brain there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
What
were you saying?
I don't know.
It
was something about layers of emotions and ogres and onions.
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, punching.
Yeah.
Ogres? Did you say ogres?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the ogre?
Because
are you thinking a WoW?
Layers of emotions.
Like an onion?
Ogres have layers.
Yeah, I gotcha. Okay.
Like an onion.
Right. Like an onion.
Not a parfait.
Okay.
You got her?
Yeah.
For those of you youngins out there, I'm talking about Shrek. Referencing Shrek. But I can't
like the donkey.
Like him here. Donkey's great.
Donkey's
I can't see people not knowing who Shrek is.
No,
maybe
I can't
now.
See it. Our audience is our age group, so
is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
well, kind of.
None
all the way
of the
down
young
to like 24.
people like us. That's fine.
Some of them.
What if I do this?
You go ahead. I can't do that.
I'm not doing that.
Because if I do that, it turns into a whole different show. So, what did you think of Warwick? We get to see him in like action. What did you think?
It was a little weird for me.
Okay.
Obviously. And we do talk a lot about the adaptation pieces and creative liberty.
Mm-hmm.
And I think probably for what they were building and what they were going for, having that little bit of humanity left in his face and things instead of making him a full wolf, probably fit their narrative.
Okay.
I think they could have maybe done or maybe gone a little further into the transformation piece and made him a little more wolfy than he was.
He kind of still has the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like his nose is still a nose.
Yeah. 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 But he had the metal claws, a big thing on his back, pumping him full of shit. He had some of his abilities from the game.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
He had the leap and
what was it?
Blood howl thing.
Blood hunt ability.
Blood hunt, yeah.
Yeah. That was cool. Right? When he howls and shit, which was fucking piercing. So he had some stuff. He's wearing pants.
You didn't want him to be wearing pants?
I'm like, he's a wolf.
You wanted him to Donald Duck it, or?
What?
That's what you were going for?
Maybe. I don't know. I just thought it was kind of weird.
You don't know what he's got under those.
Just laying there on his side wearing pants.
He's still that's weird. Kind of human.
Well, yeah. No shit.
It could be just out there.
Yeah, well.
You don't want that.
I don't want to see that.
No.
It's not that kind of show.
So?
Just that one time.
What one time?
That one time with Mel and Jace. It was that kind of show.
Yeah, but it wasn't no hanging out or nothing.
Well, no. It was very artistic.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
That's how they got
beautiful scene.
Yeah. It was very beautiful.
Yeah. I really enjoyed Warwick. I did. I thought
I really liked him.
A really cool rendition. Again, I probably would have felt better if there was a little more of the wolf features to him, but it was fine. That way.
Yeah.
I didn't get too upset, but it is going to degrade my adaptation score when we get there.
Did you like how he was released into the wild, essentially? The whole bloodlust thing?
I think that was fine. It's like Blood Tracker kind of.
Can I just ask a question?
Yo.
See what you think about it?
Yeah.
So like the whole time Warwick was just hanging out there, like nobody in Piltover cut themselves or
I know.
bled in any way.
Right? Because he did go after Isha too.
Yeah.
In the caves.
Yeah.
When she had a bloody
nose.
So
it wasn't just Singe's blood.
No.
It's just blood. And I'm like,
unless
there's been so much fighting.
Unless Singe's blood was the key to the initial activation of it.
Maybe.
In some way or something like that. And now it's just
maybe
going off.
Maybe. But like there's always like sparring and stuff and like, you know.
You'd think he would have been flying out of the cave sooner than
you would think.
Because something
or
would
just
happen.
Like all the time. Although I'm trying to think back, did he only come out at night? Or maybe it only activates at night and you just no one's bled at night.
He only wears his sunglasses then.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he's Corey Hart.
Okay.
Yeah.
In disguise?
Well, that's what the sunglasses are for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or is he Superman?
No.
He could have a little curl. Maybe he straightens it.
No.
It's got the eyes.
They weren't shooting lasers.
Well, they weren't shooting lasers.
See how nice that was?
That was very nice.
Gentle.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. But no. Yeah, no. I like this whole it's almost got like Beauty and the Beast kind of vibe of animal transformation.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lose my mind about it.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't really transform.
No.
No. It's not like Midnight and
no, he's not a werewolf.
Yeah.
He's an experimentation. So
of a wolf.
Yeah.
Half man, half wolf. He's a werewolf.
Merc wolf. Like on Vi's jacket.
Well, he doesn't have two heads though. I get that he's from a merc wolf, hence the two different color eyes.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But he's a werewolf.
He's not a werewolf.
He's a werewolf. He's half man, half wolf.
That doesn't make him a lycanthrope.
Pretty close.
No.
Pretty close.
No.
It's a werewolf.
You could be a wolf person.
Big metal claws.
You could be a person that is a wolf. Doesn't make you a werewolf. Werewolf implies transformation.
I feel like if you become part wolf, that you've transformed into werewolf.
But you don't go back and forth. Stop it. Anyway.
Okay. He's a werewolf. Fine.
Speaking of Warwick, let's move to Singed a little bit because he is doing some interesting things.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Making moves to awaken his daughter.
Yeah. He is a man on a mission, eh?
Yeah.
And like he will do anything to save her. I mean, kudos to him, but.
Sure. But I don't know that I would go that far or do that much.
I don't think I could make something that threatens the lives of an entire town.
And more. Like threatens the lives of two towns, plus if both those towns were just murdered, it would continue to just wander and murder until it was killed.
And like what he did to Vander.
Right?
How do you do that to someone? Like if his daughter survives and finds out what he did to save her, she's gonna fucking Ellie all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be so bad.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad.
She's gonna be so mad. Just saying. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah. But he's working for Ambessa now.
Yeah. Now. In this episode?
Huh?
I don't remember.
No, I don't know. He goes to see Ambessa and switches sides and starts moving towards that goal now.
Yeah.
And Ambessa says she wants the undying loyalty, blah, blah, blah. But Singed has no loyalty to anything other than his daughter and bringing her back and making her well.
Yep.
He doesn't, he'll betray whoever. He doesn't care. But if they have a means to that end, sure, he'll be the loyalist of loyal.
He and his determination is the reason why, and I'm going to jump ahead here, I don't think Victor's actually dead. Even if he died, I think Singed might pull a Warwick, and we're going to see him again. He's got eternal life, which would really help him save his daughter.
Well, he doesn't right now, does he?
Well, not right now, no.
He's got a big hole in his chest.
No life right now.
Jace.
Yeah.
Coming back with a vengeance. Who's not Jace?
Okay, but the psychedelic ball is still alive.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah. But all of his followers just screamed and died.
That was fucking brutal. I had to mute the TV. I couldn't. The sound of that, I was like, I might throw up. I can't.
Yeah.
That was horrible.
That was pretty bad.
Like, kudos to the sound people on this show, but like.
They did it.
They nailed that.
Yeah, that was sickening.
Holy shit.
I didn't care for it.
No, I didn't like that. That was almost too far for me. I was like, no, nope.
And they just kept going.
Yeah, it just kept going and going.
Good job.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Victor. I said it funny enough last episode when I was talking about Victor potentially dying and us just never knowing about Sky's notebook. But you have something to say about that, don't you?
I have notes.
Okay,
and yes, they're scribbled, so give me a sec.
Okay, scribble notes.
Okay. Victor.
Yes.
At one point, you see his body and he has 4 runes carved in him. Okay. And then if you look at the device itself that they made, it has 4 runes and just an empty centerpiece.
Okay.
And he couldn't get it to work, which is why it almost killed him that one time that he tried to like cure himself. Sky is so inspired by him. If you look at the runes, it's exciting. If you look at the runes, there's 5 of them.
Okay.
Right? So there's precision, there's domination, there's sorcery, there's resolve, and there's inspiration. And if you look at Victor, he has the first 4, but didn't realize there was a 5th. And Sky, as she's coming to him, holding the book, talks about how she's so inspired by him. He is her main inspiration. Comes into the room, gets sucked in the machine, and now it works because she is the inspiration rune. Which is why then Victor succeeds, but it pulls Sky in because it needed inspiration. Which means in her book was, you're missing a rune.
It was really good until your anticlimactic finish. there.
Listen, I'm not a good storyteller, okay?
That was like good. I was like on the edge of my seat, and then you said, and then in her book was, you're missing a rune. And I'm like, God damn.
I didn't say it like that.
You're missing a rune, bud.
Oh. Well, I don't think she would say it like that either. But I mean, maybe.
You're stretching on what's in her book.
No, I'm not. Come on.
You still don't know. You want to know so bad that you're just going to make something up.
That's the closest we're going to get. I don't think they're going to say anything about what's in the book. I think that's it. You just had to put all the pieces together from every fucking episode out there to be like, oh, she figured it out. There's 5 runes.
I don't know, man.
Because doesn't he say something about she figured it out?
It's flimsy.
You're flimsy.
Or
Do you agree? Can you put in the comments so I can win this fight?
Or am I?
No, you.
But yeah.
Anyway, that's that. That's what I think, and I'm pretty sure because this is how it works. By next episode, you're going to see I'm right.
We'll see. What do you mean? That's how it works? Have you just been right every
Fallout Season 2?
I don't know that you were right about anything with Fallout Season 2. To be fair,
every single thing except for all of it.
All right, we've talked about Vander, we've talked about Victor, we've talked about Vi, we've talked about Caitlin. Where the fuck are Heimdinger and Echo? Just as an aside there. Because Jace comes back and totally hammers Sallow, which was a gruesome scene.
God damn, there's blood on the screen. That was fucking brutal.
Now he is bonkers. And kudos to my son, who, when he saw Jace coming out first time and he was doing a little bit of talking, said, "That's not Jace. Where's Jace?"
Yeah.
And then they later mention, Victor, I think, mentions that Jace is being spoken to by some unseen voice or some unseen entity.
Okay.
Which made Chase really excited because he's like, yeah, I'm right. So kudos to my kid for picking that out of there. He's getting good. He's getting nerdy, and it's a proud moment for me as a papa.
So if we have 2 Jaces, that means
I don't know that he's 2 Jaces. I think that he's got a voice in his head right now that's whispering not sweet nothings, but sweet murderous things to him. But I don't know who that is. And is this going to be connected to the Black Rose potentially? Is it going to be connected to
potentially
so many things?
I think Jace has just kind of lost it a bit.
Well, obviously he got sucked into some sort of random reality.
Yeah.
Came out with a beard.
Yeah, he did.
And looking a little older.
A little bit. Yeah, I wonder how long they've been in here. Like, I wonder if time is different there.
Could be. Or it just took a toll.
Or it's that bad there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't know.
I don't know. But Heimerdinger is going to come out looking like fucking Yoda.
Yeah. Lose all his hair. Looks like the brothel lady Yordle. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
At the brothel.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. Might look like her. Look like someone fucking watered him after midnight.
Mogwai. And for all you youngsters out there, a Mogwai is a little gremlin. Watch the movies. They're actually quite good and they hold up fairly well. Not like perfectly, I'm not gonna say, but they hold up. They hold up. There's a reboot we could use.
Not like Terminator. Sorry.
No.
Watched that recently and was like,
but no, yeah, we could use a solid, like, that's been long enough that we could use a Gremlins reboot, 1 and 2.
We could. Yeah.
I wouldn't be upset about it.
Maybe Paul W. Sanderson will take that on.
No. Hey. I'm going to look right into the camera here. Fuck you, Paul W. S. Anderson.
I'm going to have a hard time cutting that out. I'll just leave it.
But anyway. Speaking of Black Rose.
Okay.
I just want to really, really quickly lay down my thoughts because we're going.
We're getting there. We're only on fucking episode 5 here.
I know. Well, we can run through
we've been jumping.
episode 6 pretty quick.
Black Rose.
Last episode, I was talking a little bit about and making jokes about it was Mordekaiser that was a part of the what were we talking? I don't remember.
Black Rose attack.
Something about them.
Yeah.
Now, I was making jokes about that, and I said no, it's not. Because Black Rose is run by LeBlanc and Vladimir, both of which are part of the Black Rose Cabal or started the Black Rose Cabal, so that they could overthrow Mordekaiser because Mordekaiser was on his second life and trying to basically take over the world kind of thing and wanted to send him back. So they managed to send him back as the Black Rose Cabal and push him back, unknowingly sending Mordekaiser back to the underworld where he wanted to be because he was sending all of the souls that he wanted to utilize as an army to overthrow the world to his new domain, which was the underworld. But the question is now, because we're mentioning Black Rose and all of these Black Rose pieces, are LeBlanc and Vladimir going to be a part of it? And in the portion where Mel Medarda is pushing her brother, who isn't her brother's head into the wall, is it LeBlanc that kind of appears as they're shoving because she can do this mirror image thing? Is that her manipulating the situation from the outside?
Could be, because I'm pretty sure Ambessa is running from LeBlanc.
Yeah, I would think so.
So, yes. Good theory.
Thank you.
Good theory. Did you breathe at all through that?
No.
Okay.
No. That all had to come out in one push of air. Because I wasn't sure if I could get it out. And if these things are true, that is a great portion of adaptation from extended lore.
Yes.
So maybe I can push their mark up a little bit.
Better redemption
next
there.
time.
Yeah, we'll see.
But not yet.
We'll see if that actually happens.
And it'll be interesting to see if they throw in another character or two or just make reference to another character or two at least.
Yeah.
Through these next 3 episodes once we get there.
Could be. Who do you think Ambessa slept with? Who's Mel's daddy?
Ambessa slept with all kinds of people. Who do you think?
To get Mel.
Maybe it was Mordekaiser himself.
Oh!
No, I don't think so.
That's why she's so powerful? Although I don't know if it's that she's powerful. I think it's just that she's got the armor that's powerful.
No, it's got to be something.
She's got to have some kind of power to be able to use it, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Can you just take it? Maybe she slept with Vladimir.
Ooh.
Who knows?
Maybe she slept with LeBlanc.
Could be. She can obviously do some shape shifting. If that's her. If that's her.
If that's her. Yeah. I bet you it is. What are they going to introduce someone new? They're not going to introduce someone new.
They could.
They could, but
if you want,
there's 3 episodes left.
Yeah, but if you want in the last 3 episodes to drop some sort of cliffhanger that expands this universe a little bit more,
okay, yeah,
then those would be a good option. Because they're good characters and they have deep lore.
Well, you could tell a whole fucking season just on their story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which would actually probably be really cool.
Just through Noxus and all of those things and the story of that space.
Yep.
And we were talking about that before at some point. It would be okay if they opened up that kind of that laneway so that they can tell other stories from other spaces around our Runeterra.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I was going to say Arcana, and then I was like,
Arcana?
That's not right.
No.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know why I was going to say that. Runeterra. Where the Piltovians, the Zonites, and the Noxians live. But yeah, I was reading these notes that were scribbled down, and you can barely read, but I did giggle at Mel has been dragged to hell. She's crossed over into Hellraiser because she had the whole chain scene.
Was my immediate thought.
Yeah.
Just
and we've
all
seen
black
it,
chains.
Where the chains all come out and they grab you and then they tear you apart.
Yeah.
They did kill her friend there. So.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah, I can't remember her name.
Squished her. Tore her up. I can't either. That's why I said her friend and then didn't bring it up.
Sorry, I called it.
I didn't bring it up.
You know what else was brought up? Vander's memory.
Yeah.
Felicia.
Yeah.
That was cool. That was a sweet little scene.
I did like that.
Yeah.
That little pullback.
Yeah. Yeah. Little history there. Vander's been around since like before the girls were born.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. I don't know why. And like named Vi. Yeah.
Which
yeah,
we were talking about is a sway away from lore where she was named for Violent. Which I think is cheesy as hell.
I think it is too, but it's a MOBA.
Yeah.
And like back then when they like created the game, I don't think there was a whole lot put into it yet.
No.
So,
but this little piece where it was him and he's like, I've always been partial to the name Violet.
Yeah.
And then she's named Violet. And they're like basically, him and Silco are basically like godparents to these kids. So,
yeah. Yeah. And I'm like, are you partial to it because Felicia's hair is violet?
Maybe he had a thing for her.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Felt like he might have.
Maybe
they were a throuple.
Maybe he's the real daddy.
Could be.
I mean,
we'll never know.
How can Vi punch like that?
Yeah.
Right?
We don't know much about her dad either, though.
No, there wasn't really a whole lot. They just show him coming in at one point.
And I thought it was interesting that Felicia had some really manic tendencies. That kind of showed like Jinx's personality.
Yeah.
Which was interesting for me.
That was pretty good. Yeah.
It was pretty good.
It was pretty good.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we roll into episode 6, most of it takes place when we were in the commune.
Victorland.
That's
what I call it because I don't know what it's called.
Just the underground, I guess.
The underground?
I don't know. That's what I'm going to go with.
They're down there. They're in like the underground, though, are they not? Yeah.
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 In the refuse.
Where
Vi and Powder grew up, though.
That's true.
With their family.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, that's where the tombstone is for the mother.
Well, that's where their height charts were, too.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So they obviously lived there, and it was obviously a livable space at some point. We still don't have the full story there, which is kind of interesting, but
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Before we move on to just like the final scenes, I want to talk about the scene that got me. It got me.
I get it. I literally had a tear that I had to get off me.
The scene where Vi finally meets Vander Warwick, and they're kind of fighting, and Jinx just calls out that it's him, and she just drops her guard.
Yeah.
And then you don't know what happened. Everything's dark. And the music that starts with that too
it was brutal.
Is already tugging on your heart. And I don't know why, but the music was so poignant there that I was already starting to feel. And then it's Jinx trying to light that lighter, and then it comes on and she can see Vi just being held by Warwick.
Yeah.
And then she reaches out her hand and says, he's your dad too.
Yeah, no, I'm getting the frog throat thing. Stop it.
There's...
And then Isha.
And then she runs in for it.
Right? And Warwick's like, I won't eat you, it's fine. I'm just like, oh. No, I legit cried.
It hits you.
I'll say it. I legit cried.
And I'm not like there's not a lot of shows that hit me in just the right ways. But I was doing I was like, okay, it got me.
It's not real. It's not real. Oh, God, it's so sweet though.
Such a good scene. And it really leads in and leans into the end of these 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Where everything kind of breaks down. Victor goes down. Everybody's going back to how they were. And unfortunately, that means Warwick Vander, who was getting healed by Victor, also goes back, and worse. Like all the bloodlust, all of the rage gets just escalated, and he's basically spewing lava out of his mouth.
You know, it's kind of weird. Going back a little bit to the scene where Ambessa is sparring with Caitlyn, at one point after they're done fighting, she says, and lava will run in your veins. And then at the end, Warwick has lava running in his veins. And I'm like, is that a coincidence?
I don't know.
Or is it some kind of weird fucking tie-in that they're going to expose in the next 3 episodes?
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm just going to put that out there and be like, called it. I just didn't really call anything.
And then.
Okay.
Jinx is down. Vi is out. Trying to save Jinx.
Yeah.
Isha takes the gun. Triple loads.
And immediately you're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
And just slides up there. Jinx poses in front of him. Like does the. And then lights it up. And that's the end of the fucking episode. Bright light explosion. What happened? Are they both incinerated? Are Vander and Isha gone? Like, you have no idea. This is in all season 1 and season 2 cliffhanger arc pieces. I have never wanted to run ahead more than I did at that moment.
I almost did.
I was sitting there staring at the screen, contemplating. I'm like, I feel like I need one more episode, and I didn't do it, and it's chewing at my soul.
Tonight, you can go home and watch it.
Chewing at my soul.
That was brutal. That was a brutal ending to this arc. Act?
Act.
I'm going to call it an arc.
I call it an arc.
Yeah, it's an arc. It's a story arc.
Yeah.
It is Act 2.
It's Arcane.
Technically.
Arc 2.
Arc 2.
Act 2.
God, that's cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Yeah. I think one of my favorite scenes from episode 6 was the demise of Rictus. And Bessa's number 2 in command.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's a douchebag. And Warwick just fucking annihilates him.
Just
that was
tears
so
him
good.
apart.
Yep.
Nothing left.
Nothing.
And Bessa looks pretty pissed.
She's
How
mad.
did she make it? How did she survive?
Did she survive? Yes, she was right in the front when he came off that cart thing. Yeah, whole fucking.
And we don't get to see
Jurassic
that fight.
Park style.
We don't get to see that fight, which is weird because we get to see a lot of the fights. Get to see none of that, but she's alive.
And I wonder if she's got some way of controlling him. Just a theory.
Or throwing off the scent.
Or throwing it off. Something. I don't know, but.
Gotta be something.
She came off with just fucking scars.
You know what we didn't talk about?
What?
Jinx versus Warwick.
Oh, God.
Was probably one of the best fights of either season.
That was insane. Good. Jinx is so fucking good.
Yeah.
Wow. You think she's just this like scrawny little girl with a gun and she's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so she like makes it out of no, she's fucking skilled.
Was special. That's a TikTok.
Oh, it's not because I make them.
Not today. Yeah. She's so good.
She is fantastic. She was like blinking around like a mage.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just went back to Wilder.
Speed boost.
Yeah.
From the shimmer infusion, whatever is going on.
Yeah.
It was such a good fight.
That was fantastic. So good. That was so good. So
well
good.
Choreographed.
Did you notice her pink tears?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When she was
she's got blue lines coming out from her eyes. She's not okay.
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on, but fuck that fight. Oh.
Let's get to it.
Okay.
We've gone long enough.
Oh yeah, this is going over an hour for sure.
Show.
Okay.
10.
Yep.
Easy.
Sure.
And I'm gonna keep doing it unless they just fuck something up so bad.
I can't see it.
Like it's so good.
Can't see it.
And I think I went 7 adaptation last just because I was trying to repent for my sins of not looking at the lore as deeply as I should have.
Thank you, Adam.
And I'll shift it to an 8.
Okay.
Just
because Black Rose thing might be a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited about that. A little disappointment in Vander's Warwick look still.
Yeah.
But
/ story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the singed Korik thing is still floating around there. So
okay.
Yeah. Okay. I'll roll it with an 8 though.
All right.
I'm gonna go with it.
Yeah.
Yep. 10-8.
10-8. Show 10. That's easy. Done. Adaptation. Wow. 6.5. I was a 6 last time. Yeah. There's a lot of discrepancies that just irk me because, well, it's just how I am. I can't let it go.
What about the Corn Revic locket? That was thrown
Corn
in there.
Revic is not singed.
Yeah.
If we're talking adaptation, it's not his daughter. Sorry. I'm like, yeah, that's really cool that you put all that in
Victor's title? See. Or what did they keep calling him?
Messiah? I don't know.
They didn't call him Messiah.
Oh, sorry, that was the Bible.
Yeah.
Which is essentially what he is. He's the Messiah.
Savior?
Is it Savior?
Anyway, it's from the game.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Victor's not from the game. Not this Victor.
No. Very different.
6.5's pretty decent.
Yeah,
Last time I gave it a 6.
All right.
6.5's decent.
Yeah.
Decent.
Yeah. Because this Victor is very different.
There's so much that's different. But show itself, 10.
Yeah.
That good.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for that one.
So,
put away my shitty fucking notes.
Like and subscribe. And what else do you do?
Don't do that.
Hit the bell. Because then you'll know when things happen.
As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, consider following the podcast so you don't miss future discussions as new episodes air.